Let's talk about the defining conflict of our time. It's a war, but it's not being fought with missiles or tanks. It's being fought with silicon. This is the story of the chip war between the USA and China. You've probably heard this quote before. It's what J. Robert Oppenheimer famously said after seeing the first atomic bomb detonate. It was the terrifying dawn of a new age, all thanks to the original Manhattan Project. Well, fast forward to today, and we've got a second Manhattan Project on our hands. But this time, the race isn't to split the atom, it's to build an artificial mind. And the opening shot? It wasn't a bomb. It was a tiny piece of silicon. So here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with this new kind of war, then look at America's seemingly perfect strategy to win it. We'll uncover the one huge mistake they made, see China's incredibly clever counterattack, their insane energy gambit, and finally, what this all means for the future of tech.
So let's set the scene. It's October 2022. The United States unleashes what is, for all intents and purposes, a devastating economic attack on China. This was absolutely a declaration of war, just one fought in boardrooms, not on battlefields.
And the impact was immediate. Overnight, without a single shot fired, $240 billion of market value just vanished. The weapon wasn't kinetic. It was a policy. Export controls. America's strategy here was designed to be a perfect chokehold. The idea was simple. Stop China's military from getting its hands on advanced AI. To do that, Washington set up a three-gate blockade. And honestly, on paper, it looked absolutely flawless. First up, they went for the brain. See, you can't design a modern chip with 80 billion transistors on a napkin. You need incredibly complex software called EDA, Electronic Design Automation. And since US companies control that market, they just cut off China's access. Gate 1 slams shut. Next, you go after the hand. Once the chip is designed, you gotta print it. And there is literally only one company on the planet, ASML in the Netherlands, that makes the machine that can do this at the highest level. The US found a key American-made component inside that machine and used that as leverage to block all sales to China. Gate 2, lockdown. And finally, Gate 3, the actual hardware. The US government just drew a line in the sand. They set a performance limit and basically made it illegal to sell any AI chip powerful enough to, say, simulate a nuclear weapon to anyone in China. The blockade was complete. Checkmate, right? It really seemed like the AI race was over before it even began. The blockade looked perfect. But, and this is a huge but, Washington made one single critical miscalculation, an assumption that would unravel their entire plan.
So what was it? What was this fatal flaw in an otherwise perfect strategy?
It all came down to a fundamental misunderstanding. The US assumed China plays by the same rules, that corporations are driven by quarterly profits. But they weren't dealing with a market economy. They were dealing with a state-run command economy. And when Beijing felt its national survival was on the line, profit went right out the window.
And that single shift in priorities from profit to survival unleashed this incredible wave of innovation. Since China couldn't get the best hardware anymore, they figured, okay, we'll just write smarter software to make our weaker hardware work better.
And how they did it is just brilliant. Think about it like this. An American AI model is like a hospital where if you come in with a scraped knee, they call in every single doctor. The brain surgeon, the cardiologist, everyone. It works, sure, but it's incredibly slow and wasteful. China's AI, on the other hand, built a really smart receptionist who just looks at your knee and says, "Oh, you just need the knee doctor." It was a huge breakthrough in efficiency.
They also came up with what you could call an IKEA strategy. The US sanctions basically shrunk the doorway between their computer chips. So Chinese engineers figured out how to take the data, which is like a big, bulky sofa, and compress it down into a flat pack box that could slide right through that tiny door. Problem solved.
But even with all this clever software, the hardware was still a problem. It just wasn't as efficient. So China decided to lean into its one massive advantage, just incomprehensible scale.
Okay, now look at this, because this is where it gets crazy. To do the same job as one powerful American chip, China needed to string together 7 of its own chips. But that cluster of 7 chips burned 4 times as much power. In a normal economy, that's a death sentence. You'd go bankrupt. But China's answer was brutally simple. Oh, our chips are 4 times less efficient? Fine, we'll just make our electricity 4 times cheaper. And then they weren't kidding. They launched the Gobi Desert Project to generate 450 gigawatts of clean energy. Let that number sink in. That is more power than Germany and Brazil combined. It's just a staggering amount of energy.
And then they went even further. They started building bomb-proof data centers by literally tunneling into the side of mountains. Why? So they could use the mountain itself as a massive free air conditioner for up to 300,000 servers at a time.
And this whole thing was bankrolled by the state. Beijing pumped $47 billion directly into its chip industry. And the money didn't go to the most profitable companies, no. It went to the companies that could help them achieve one single ruthless goal: delete America from their supply chain.
And the end result of this all-out national push was, well, it was the exact opposite of what the US wanted. Instead of crippling China, the sanctions basically acted like a vaccine, forcing it to build up its own immunity.
Just look at this. This is the result. China has built a completely parallel, independent tech ecosystem. It's almost a one-for-one replacement. For every piece of the American tech stack, they now have their own version, totally immune to US pressure. DeepSeek for OpenAI, Huawei for NVIDIA, you name it, they've built it.
So what are the big takeaways here? I think there are three. First, for a determined country, a sanction isn't a weapon. It's a vaccine that makes them stronger. Second, when push comes to shove, national survival will always beat quarterly profits. And finally, in this new game that is so resource-heavy, whoever controls the energy controls the future.
You know, the US thought it was building a cage, but what it really did was give China the motivation and the blueprint to build an entirely new world, completely outside of American control. So now the real question isn't who will win the chip war anymore. It's who will choose to join this new world.